On the 6th of January, we have a full moon. Yay! In Gemini. The exact time of the full moon is 11:08 p.m. So the full moon period in astrology, as the days go by from the new moon phase, the moon slowly grows more and more radiant into the full moon, like a pearl in the night sky. Its silvery light reminds us of the lessons learned and experience we have had since the last full moon. The full moon phase lasts 2 weeks and can be a time of abundant potential and opportunity. The full moon happens when the moon is opposite the sun, so 180 degrees away from the sun. Some of you may focus on finishing things, others may experience illuminating revelations even through your own exploration or from the words or actions of others. It is an excellent time to think about your projects, especially the ones that need to be completed that you may have been putting off for a year or 2 or a decade or 3, and plan to take steps to overcome any obstacles in you completing these old projects. Some people may let go of relationships, and others may start or continue the work of dealing with self-destructive habits or thought patterns that hold you back from being authentic and living life on your own terms. Negatively, the full moon can make us act irrationally and be quick to anger. There can be tensions between the conscious and subconscious minds, the more feminine and masculine aspects of yourself. Professional and domestic responsibilities can also get in the way of each other, causing a conflict between what we should do and what we want to do, leading to a fragile psychological or emotional states. There can also be an increase in bougie, showing off behaviour, and confidence and enthusiasm that leads to doing things to excess, such as excessive spending, socialising, eating, drinking or drug taking, causing you or others to crash and burn at a later date, or unexpected circumstances, and that leads to unexpected consequences due to impulsive actions. So be cautious with all forms of speculation and other types of financial investments, and full moons can make us a bit more violent as well, so watch out for that. In ancient times, the full moon was said to be a cause of issues with digestion, so be careful of what you eat and drink at this time, as well as the information you take in and the people you spend time with. You may experience trouble with children or handling your own inner child right now, who may demand special attention or be emotionally challenging. Ultimately, the sun opposes the moon. The full moon period is a time, if you are prepared to put your mind and action to it, that people can understand each other's perspective more, yet you will have to fight for this to happen, even if it means overcoming your own prejudices. The full moon is far more than just an illuminated face in the night sky. It is a source of immense potential, capable of controlling the ebb and flow of tides and even influencing the events of our lives. Make sure you make the use of the full moon's magical power. As the full moon rises, it's a reminder that it's a time to let go of anything that isn't helping you reach your fullest potential. It's a cue to say goodbye to any people, places and things that may not be conducive to your overall growth and create new beginnings. The full moon is a time to break away from old cycles and habits and start afresh. As the full moon appears, seize the chance to start anew, embrace the wave of transformation it brings and open yourself up to the possibility of a fresh start and exciting opportunities. Every full moon, so we have 12 a year that happens each month, gives us a chance to make a fresh start, reminding us that we don't have to wait for our birthday or New Year to begin transforming our lives, because every month astrologically we have given the chance and energy and opportunity to let go of old habits and focus on positive soul level growth. It's a chance to make progress that can last month after month, year after year, decade after decade. The full moon can also be a wonderful time for ritual and ceremony. It's a marker of endings and a time to symbolically let go of any negative thoughts or feelings that may be holding us back. So taking some time to write down the things you want to release on a piece of paper and burn. Some people do that. Some people spend time in water, whether it's a bath, shower, or even a dip in a river or lake to cleanse the negativity from their mind, body and soul. Spending time meditating or in nature or in your home, find a peaceful spot outside or inside to write or voice note or vlog the things you want to let go of and manifest into your life. You can create a vision board or anything else to help you with this releasing and cleansing process that the full moon calls for us to do. The full moon can be a time of reflection, renewal and healing. Take time to think about the lessons you need to learn and start or continue to let go of your spiritual, emotional or psychological trauma. Sensual dance, tai chi and yoga can help you connect with your inner voice and intuition and allow yourself to truly release any negative energy and let go of any burdens that are no longer serving you. Consider re-examining your objectives and perspectives and your prospects. Are you satisfied with the people and all the areas of your life? What obstacles are hindering you? What is preventing you from connecting to your internal bliss? Ask yourself what kind of things you would like to manifest, foster, grow within you or bring into your life, and what things and relationships do you need to start letting go of to make space for the new you want in your life. So yeah, these are some of the things you can ask yourself over the new moon. Okay, so now I'm going to analyse what the full moon of the 6th of January actually wants us to do by looking at the interactions between the moon and the sun and any planets that are making up this full moon. So at the time of this full moon, Mercury and the moon form an opposition, so it creates a kind of celestial atmosphere that the mind and heart can feel. This opposition makes a vibrational bridge between our emotions, and there can be a boost in communication with those of the female sex, or you can feel more connected with your feelings and ideas. But because this is the opposition, your thinking may be volatile, so be wary of letting feelings dictate your decisions. So making the decisions that the full moon typically calls for can be difficult for us on the full moon of the first full moon of the year. You may find yourself torn between your emotions and your rational mind. Rational, not irrational. This can leave you feeling uncertain and insecure, as if you have no control over the situation. To find harmony between your head and your heart, take time to assess each decision and its consequences before making a final choice. Rather than letting yourself be torn between your thoughts and emotions, you need to find equilibrium between your thoughts and emotions. It can be difficult sometimes to make decisions, especially when there's a battle between your heart and your head, your mind and your feelings. But by finding the middle ground, you can trust your own judgment and stop doubting yourself. The sun's conjunction with Mercury can counteract the effect of the moon's opposition to Mercury, offering support so that you can overcome any blocks to your understanding of your thought processes and communicate more effectively with others, because Mercury's opposition to the moon can just make us a bit like, get out of my face. So this sun conjunct Mercury can make us a bit more balanced, but negatively the sun's conjunction with Mercury can make us too in our head and less subjective, lost in our own thoughts and what we think people's intentions are rather than the reality of their intentions and desires. It can make us more withdrawn into our feelings, especially because of the moon's opposition to Mercury as well. And this means with the sun's conjunct Mercury is getting us in our heads and the moon opposing Mercury is getting us in our feelings. This can cause tension in all our relationship. But the sun's conjunction to Mercury allows us to feel more passionate and be more vocal about our goals and beliefs. So yeah, this may cause tension and conflict in relationships, but sometimes this is needed so we can be authentic and move forward. The moon's BiQuintile to Saturn reminds us of the importance of finding a balance between spending time alone in self-reflection to achieve your fullest creative potential and taking time by engaging in the world, so finding a balance between alone time and being social. Firstly, by showing us that we have to learn to be just as content with yourself in solitude as you are when engaging with the world in social, work or any other settings. As you interact with others and grow in social, emotional, and psychological experience, you will broaden your own self-awareness, but also take time to study historical and current experts in the things that you're interested in, that will allow you to develop your own unique and individual creative powers. Because sometimes it can be like, oh, I want to reinvent the wheel, but sometimes we need to know what's in the box so we can think more uniquely and be more creative. Because sometimes if we don't know what's already in the world and in the box, we can just end up repeating past mistakes or inventing things that are already there. Sometimes things don't need to be invented, they just need to be upgraded. And Saturn's influence here in the BiQuintile with the moon is asking us to mix the new with the old sort of thing, feeling with logic. The moon also makes a sextile with Uranus and the sun, and Mercury's trine to Uranus also gives us the energy to take transformative action and a leap of faith. Now is the perfect time to embrace innovative, imaginative thinking, to bring about meaningful change, and to be a bit more intellectually flexible and open-minded. Some of you, especially those with strong Mercury, Sun and Uranus, 3rd, 5th, 6th and 11th house placements in your birth chart, may gain an eagle eye for detail, helping you think up unique and original ideas that you can share with ease. These aspects additionally reduce the effect of the confused sort of like thinking that's caused by the opposition of the moon to Mercury and the sun. The moon's trine to Neptune also allows us to be in tune with our intuition and have an acute sensitivity to the world around us that can help you unlock the emotional and psychological wounds that stop you from growing into the person you really want to be, by keeping you in a toxic loop of behaviors, thoughts and relationships. This alignment gives spiritual insights, encouraging you to get closer to your inner life and the things in your subconscious that can solve your problems. The moon's trine to Neptune is also good for psychic activity work if you can stay grounded and use cosmic energies in balanced ways. Saturn SemiSextile to Neptune provides stability, which is needed to view your intuitive guidance objectively in the coming weeks as the moon passes from its full to new moon phase, providing you with the support to keep your feet firmly planted in the ground while still appreciating, the psychic realms and the law of life abilities and getting in tune with the ethereal. The alignment of Venus and Mars enhances feelings of love and creativity. You may find yourself feeling more spontaneous and drawn to romantic possibilities. So enjoy this sort of like time, this full moon, to be truly open, especially if you do get new relationships in your life, because even though sometimes we're saying goodbye, and sometimes we may be ending things and sometimes we add them nastily, but back once upon a time we used to end relationships nicely, and we can do that. Sometimes we just have to let people go because we're going on different life paths, and it can be hard when we love them and stuff, but the old saying says, if we love something, let it go, and if it returns to us, it's meant to be, sort of things. And it may sound cliche, but life has shown me this is true. So yeah, Venus and Mars in alignment blesses us with loyalty and ability to relate to ourselves and others on a deep level. Jupiter's ongoing semi-square to Saturn, which has been going on for about a year and will continue, inspires a deep period of deep reflection on the individual level, helping us to take stock of our values and beliefs and allowing us to become more tolerant and accepting of those who may be different from us. This is an opportunity for economic growth on the global front, which is good as many nations are facing economic instability, but this is also what the Jupiter semi-square Saturn's meant to do. It's meant to change things on the scale to make things a bit more fairer eventually. The dark before the calmness of the storm, so things have been rocky right now, but it's so things can get better eventually, even though we are all going through hard times. But remember that there is hope at the end of the tunnel. individual. Jupiter semi-square to Saturn also helps us to look at new ways to live our lives and to grow or start a new business. And even if you have had one ending, just think about something that you can do without, if you had a store and that ended, shop or physical location, think of something you can do online, lower startup costs and all the rest of it. Negatively, the energy of Jupiter semi-square Saturn can cause locally, globally, law and order to be strengthened in some countries to in a tyrannical, authoritative extent, and the popular decisions can be taken with confidence for government but restricts our general freedoms in some way. The Moon, Sun and Mercury also make squares to Chiron, so this may bring childhood wounds to the surface, especially those connected to our primary caregivers, and any issues you have with self-belief and trusting your own judgment or intuitions. Although these memories bring pain, these aspects provide a source of great power and understanding if you're prepared to deal with whatever trauma comes to your attention right now or is triggered by others. The strength and resilience are given to help yourself, and these aspects also provide the courage to reach out to others for support, or you and others can benefit from talking, sharing your emotional struggles and turmoil, and thinking about steps together to overcome your struggles. If you're willing to understand and manage your problems and continue to grow and thrive, you can heal any wounds you have with self-belief and trust in your own wisdom. The Sun's trine to the North Node, Venus is square to the North Node, Uranus is conjunction to the North Node, and Neptune semi-square to the North Node, which all happen at the time of this full moon, support you in letting go of your past. And the past is represented in astrology by the South Node in your birth chart. And all these aspects to the Moon's North Node at the time of this full moon are showing you that the main theme of this full moon is letting go of the things that you have been holding you back for decades, and finally working or continuing to work towards your future and the hobbies and relationships and career path that will really bring you happiness in your life. So the focus is on the new, moving towards your authentic life path rather than staying in the past, and bringing the things that will allow you to feel more joyous. And these things in astrology are shown by the sign of house your North Node is in, and any aspects involving your North Node or your North Node's ruler, and the rulers of any aspects that the North Node makes as well. So yeah, the transit of the Sun and Moon's North Node invites you to step into your power and leave behind the fears of your past. This is another aspect that supports reaching out and connecting with others to begin or develop meaningful relationships or cultivate influential contacts, calling you not to let the demands of your family or societal expectations keep you from expressing your authentic self or finding it before you can express who you really are. If you want to change your profession or have a more public facing career, like writing a book, running sort of like business online or in shop or anything like that, or starting an online channel or podcast, now is the time to begin. Your voice deserves to be heard. Also, Venus's transformative square to the Moon's North Node is another aspect that gives you the chance to explore beautiful relationships and unearth your artistic potential by fearlessly exploring new and creative ideas. Neptune semi-square to the North Node gives us the opportunity to join forces with spiritual-minded and creative gifted individuals, or to unlock our own innate intuitive senses and artistic ability. Some of you may have wounds, myself included, about building new connections with others after being hurt and the rest, but this aspect promises that if you take advantage of this chance to form meaningful relationships without ignoring red flags, you can create reliable and trustworthy new connections. So don't let the past once again stop you from having a better future. Additionally, at the time of this full moon, the Sun is in the 23rd degree Sagittarius. The tagline for this degree is immigrants entering a new country. So this symbol calls for us to grow into a new way of being by giving the example of a group of immigrants. And I know there's a lot of contention in the world about people crossing borders and stuff like that. Still, if we were honest and in their position, we would want a better life for ourselves too. So this Sabin degree reminds us to take a new perspective on how we see the world and embrace these new thoughts. New country, new world, a brave new one, to quote George Orwell, and all the opportunities to be more open-minded and realistic about the root cause of your own and society's problems. The requirement for entry into these new all-inclusive thoughts is a conscious acceptance of the real source of our personal and global issues instead of the hype the media and other sources want us to play into. Typically, we can blame our past, old lovers, our upbringing, and some of us had crappy parents. I'm not going to play away from that. But when we look back in our family trees, they had crappy parents who had crappy parents before then. And even though we can be tied down in pain and all the rest of it, I've suffered with depression and anxiety issues and stress and anxiety, as I said, my life. And I still go for these things, but you have to realise that we have to make a choice. Otherwise, we will continuously let our past dictate our whole lives, and then we'll just end up reliving our day in, day out routine like it's Groundhog Day. So this energy is asking us to cross the threshold into a new world of unity rather than division. On the personal level, this symbol ultimately asks us to accept our personality's good and bad sides under this full moon and work to manage all sides of our temperament so we can meet the necessary requirements to bring the changes we all wanted to see in our lives and in our world. The moon is also in the 23rd degree of Gemini, and the tagline for this degree is 3 threadlings in a nest high in a tree. So yeah, nestled in a tree, there are 3 strong birds, so representing our mind, body and soul. This symbolic imagery signifies the development of spiritually creative processes in unified mentality, so thinking on a sort of global collective level rather than, oh well, you follow this religion, you are from this culture, you do this job, you're different from me. Thinking on a more unified, psychological, connected sort of perception. Historically, birds have been associated with spiritual power and the liberated elements of the psyche. The upper chambers of consciousness is where all the wide ideas of spirits can be taken in and accepted. Yet in today's world, there are many barriers towards reaching our innate wisdom, let alone believing that we've got it even, that there is something more than this material sort of realm. So our world is plagued right now with chaotic and ill-formed protests, and one group of people pointing the finger at the other for being the root causes of the worst problems. And this is not to play it down. We must protest or we must make changes in our world, but we must find the right way of doing it. Because although some of these intentions of these protests are good, but the execution of these protests and blame pointing are not really changing our world. This symbol calls for us to take a more inclusive rather than continue with a decisive approach to fixing the world's problems, from the economical instability to the climate change that's happening, thinking of proper solutions rather than sensational actions that produce dramatic news and stuff for us to read but don't really bring about the changes that we really need to see. So the emotional, somewhat misguided mass protest demonstrations should be reconciled with innate motivations and adapted to the phases of organic natural development, just being a bit more like what can be best for everybody on the planet rather than just a set few or set nations, thinking about the real root causes. If we've got places in our world that are facing war, famine, and not having enough access to jobs and medical care and stuff like that, then until when we sort these real root problems, then we're going to have problems of people trying to go to other countries that have better healthcare and stuff. So we can't solve one problem without solving the entire problem. Otherwise, we just keep on going back round in circles, which history has shown us that this is what happens. The 23rd degree of Gemini emphasizes the importance of creative integration. Creative integration, according to the late and great astrologer Dame Rudder, is a central part of life, work and inventiveness. It is the ability to combine multiple ideas, sources and perspectives to create something new and powerful. Creative integration allows us to go beyond the boundaries of traditional thinking, to challenge the status quo and to discover new ways of approaching problems. It's about connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture and recognizing the value that can be added with different perspectives and when they are brought together. It allows us to be more open-minded, to come up with innovative solutions and to develop a culture of collaboration and mutual understanding rather than continuing the culture of division and misunderstandings and low tolerance. Creative integration is a way to create progress, to spark inspiration and to make a positive change within ourselves and the world. So it's a skill that we should all develop. So take advantage of this moment to create a positive change in your own life first, so you can help change our world by changing yourself first. This full moon calls us to think about the things that unite us as human beings and not that the things that focus on the things that drive us apart, and to start or continue to heal the things that stop us from living our best lives and exploring our unique creative potential. So yeah, embrace the power of your personal transformation, look for innovative ideas and make changes that will revolutionize your life. Globally, we are now embarking on a new journey which can be daunting at times, and it is. Change is always hard. We love our comfort zones, myself included, but we must not be afraid of change but instead embrace it. We must strive to move forward, learning and growing along the way while still holding close to the personal values that make us who we are, yet making sure our values are actually our own and not the things we are told to believe in. It's important to remember that our values give us strength and courage to move forward and never forget our roots. Let us use this new chapter, first full moon of the year, as an opportunity to become better versions of ourselves. 2022 and 2020 and 2021 have totally blown our lives and changed it and has made us be forced out of our beloved comfort zones, but let's just go with it and use it to give birth to the new rather than staying in regret or longing for the old, which will never come again. But we can take the best of the old and use the best of our modern and upgrade it and create this new sort of earth where we can all live and everyone can be a lot happier. I know it may sound a bit woo-woo and utopic, but hey, the world needs dreamers as much as we need logisticians and mathematicians and all the rest of those rational people. So yeah. And even if you're rational, you should use your more subconscious creative side. And as someone who's a bit more woo-woo, I am using critical thinking and my logical side has really helped me balance out that woo-woo. So that's why I say it's best to use our masculine and feminine energies, our rational and our irrational minds. So yeah, this is a time to reflect on our past and present and use it as a way to create something beautiful for the future. We must take time to appreciate a journey and all the lessons and experience that can be learned if we are willing to take the time to self-reflect and grow. This full moon wants us to find the inner courage to create a life full of joy and connection. Allow yourself to shine and never forget your unique power. Channel your enthusiasm into purposeful action, letting go of toxicity in thoughts, behaviour and relating. Seize the opportunity to make a more meaningful impact on your own life and world. Dare to be brave and your destiny will be one full of greatness. Very Star Wars, isn't it? But yeah, that's the 6th of January.